So we wanted to reduce our carbon footprint. Then we thought, what can we do in our own individual way as our contribution? And solar was really a good one for green renewable energy.
My name's Landon. I'm the Vice President of Operations for Skyfire Energy. When I started, it was more about passion. Someone that just loved solar, loved the idea, wasn't so concerned about the cost side of it. Now it's become, more or less mainstream. Solar will actually produce electricity at a cheaper cost than what you're going to buy from the grid. We always tell people to go after the low-hanging fruit first, right? Whether that's upgrading windows, blowing in a little bit more insulation into the attic. Otherwise, solar is just producing energy to sort of offset your wasted energy. So let's get that home as efficient as we can, within reason to start with, and then solar would be a good add-on from there.
What I'd heard when I was first considering solar was from other people who had looked into it and decided that it wasn't a worthwhile investment. The return was just too low. However, I think with today's historically low interest rates, it's really as good as an investment as many other types of securities that you could get on the market. If you invest all that money into a solar system, then it's not just the return on the investment, but it's the value added to your home as well. We were reading from the media that a lot of people rely on their governments to solve global warming or the issues associated with global warming. And we thought, what can we do in our own individual way as our contribution? And solar was really a good one for green renewable energy. It's just horrific. Just these last, 3 or 4 weeks with all the wildfires? I think overall, just having the ability to say, I wonder if we can go carbon neutral, then that was our goal. Even though it's a tiny piece of the huge pie, but at least it's something. Being an electrical engineer myself, I was looking for certain aspects in the specifications. So we had 3 priorities that we really wanted to focus on. One was the highest efficiency panels available. The second was maximum production as allowed by our hydro provider. We said we wanted it future-proofed for electric vehicle charging and for a Tesla Powerwall. And the third was to be able to monitor our consumption and production. I can honestly say Skyfire delivered on all of those.
Phil opted to get the consumption monitoring as well. So now he's able to, in real time, compare what he's using in the home versus what his solar is actually producing.
So I can see that for every day at a flash, and I can even go back the entire 16 months that we've now had it installed and look at not only what I've produced, consumed, and so on, but I can even go down to the individual solar panel and check that it's working correctly. And that was a nice little add-on benefit too.
Any system that we install, you would have the ability to see what that system is producing. You can narrow it down to hourly, to yearly, right? So you can have those comparisons. Typically, we're going to have some limitations on most homes. Either that's lack of south-facing roof, let's say. Sometimes it'll come down to electrical service size or panel size. Very rarely do you get to just go right to achieving net zero, and you're not impeded by any of those factors. Phil, we were able to get him to net zero or very close to, and he had the available roof space.
So my production this year means that we really will be at that break-even point. We're probably even producing more energy than we actually use. What's nice though, with the hydro provider, they act at the moment as my battery. So my excess production goes back into the grid, but they credit me 1-for-1 all that energy that they take back.
Solar and any renewable energy system is PST exempt in BC. And then the announcement of the Greener Homes Grant was a big one. So that allows homeowners to get up to $5,000 back on their system. And then they would also reimburse up to $600 of the energy audit itself.
I think everything went according to expectations, and I attribute that to Skyfire because the advice they gave me led me to understand what the expectations were and could be. There was no fluff, if you like, of trying to upsell something just for the sake of it.
These are a longer lasting product, a longer lasting system. You want to make sure it's designed and installed, to last that full, 30 plus years.
I just like that confidence in doing things well and investing in them to make sure they're going to last. And the thought that I can do something, hopefully, to my little bit to battle climate change is even more of an incentive.